Alright, here we go. I'm rudely awakened when someone grabs my arm. In a panic, I scream out loud and hit whoever is holding me. Princess! Yelps Eeyok. It's me! I retrieve my hand, realizing I've just hit a soldier in my confused state. Oh no, what will he do to me? I have to smooth this over right away. I'm so sorry, Eeyok. I quickly apologize. I was startled. I didn't mean to hit you. Eeyok then smiles at me. It's okay, Earthling Princess. Eeyok forgive. I sigh in relief. I need to make sure I'm on this soldier's good side. I mean, he just seems like a nice dude. Geruid does not, Eeyok grumbles under his breath. Geruid is that big soldier, right? I ask. Geruid is commander. He not forgive easy. He shakes his head. Alright, it seems rank matters a lot among these soldiers. From what I've gathered, James ranks highest as captain, which is then followed by Geruid. What does that make you, Eeyok? Eeyok scum. Front. That makes him one of the lowest ranks. Still, not a bad idea to have him on my side if I keep acting nice to him. Captain James wants to see you, he says. Oh? Wait. Does he want to see me for my ability? Eeyok leads me out of the cell. As we walk down the hallway, I see a meteorite flash past us outside the window. Wow, that almost hit us, I say in a frightened voice. That was super close. Eeyok sniggers at my response. We safe. Ship has shield. Small rocks do not hurt. What about big rocks, though? I ask wearily. Eeyok shrugs as if he doesn't have the answer either. Small meteorites continue to flash past the windows. Knowing it's safe, I think it's kind of pretty to look at. They leave streaks of debris behind. I'm sure back on Earth, these would have looked like falling stars. We enter the captain's quarters. I can always feel my heart beat faster whenever I step foot inside of this cold room. James is behind his desk as usual, not even bothering to look up and acknowledge us. Captain, bring Earthling Princess, Eeyok announces. James finally bothers to look up as he waves his hand at Eeyok, dismissing him. He quickly walks out, leaving me alone with this tyrant. I fiddle around with my fingers, anxious and nervous. What does he really want from me? Am I really able to kill him? I need to get close to him. Why am I here? I decide to ask. Have you forgotten your own bargain already? He clicks his tongue at me. He gets up from his chair and leans against the edge of his desk. You were going to show me how you treated my wounds. Today's your chance. Now? I wasn't prepared for this at all. Did I stutter, princess? His voice is sultry and dark. She's in fucking love with him already. Sultry and dark. Ooh. I shake my head. No. I look around. I'm gonna have to show him my power after all. But I also need to get close to him. I need to find out his weak point. I need a test subject, I point out. I can't close a wound that doesn't exist. James pushes himself away from the desk, threateningly gaining distance on me. Each step he takes makes me quiver in response. I don't know what his endgame is. Is he gonna hurt me? Then I realize the gravity of my own words. I said I needed a wound. Is he gonna create one for me? Oh no, I didn't think this through. When he raises his hand, my heart stops beating. He's totally going to. Except he carefully rolls up the sleeve on his arm. Then, in the blink of an eye, he makes a swiping motion with his other hand, and a vivid red line appears on the surface of his bare skin. He's cut himself on his arm and didn't even wince. I breathe out a sigh in relief. Show me, he commands. At least it didn't hurt me. Alright, perhaps now I can find out if his heart is in the right place as a human. Any inconspicuous movement and I won't hesitate to kill you on the spot. Do you understand? He growls. I gulp and quickly nod at him. Do you understand? He repeats in a booming voice. He just doesn't understand the gesture of a nod, I suppose. My eyes widen. I said yes! He narrows his dark eyes at me, finding me suspicious. I have a very keen sense of hearing. Do not mock my hearing and lie to me. Next time, it will be you who will be cut. Wait, it's the same as before, when he didn't realize I nodded. Oh. Oh. Do you... I find this awkward to ask. Do you know body language, like a nod? I nod my head. I have no intention of studying your erratic earthling behavior, he scoffs. What silly things you do with your head is your business, but you possess a tongue and the ability to speak. You best be using it. Okay then, he definitely doesn't know body language. Well, humans can speak through gestures. A nod is a yes, and shaking... Suddenly he's in front of me, occupying my personal space. The blood trickles down his arm and splatters onto the metal flooring. He's as intimidating as ever. I do not have the time to listen to you. Show me how you treated my wounds. He snarls at me. He's so impatient. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to do this. Let's find out where his heart is. Just touch him. Here goes. Avoiding his threatening gaze, I direct my attention towards his bleeding arm. Slowly, to make sure every single movement is telegraphed, I reach my hand out to his arm. At the same time, I take a step closer to him, my other hand reaching for his chest to pretend I'm stabilizing myself as I work on his arm. His gaze is so intense, I feel like he's going to murder me with only his eyes. Hold still, I tell him. I really don't want to show him my ability, but I have no other choice. I hover my fingertips over the small wound, and slowly, my thread shoots out of it. There's absolutely no reaction from James, who remains completely still. This might sting a little, I warn him. I pierce his skin with my thread. He doesn't even flinch or blink. There's absolutely no reaction from him. Then I take the plunge. I touch his chest with my other hand. The suit he's wearing feels cold and smooth to the touch. I'm so nervous that I can only feel my own heartbeat, but not his. James looks down at the hand that's suspiciously on his chest. Is this required? He asks. Yes, I lie quickly. It's to steady myself. I continue to stitch, afraid he's going to find out what I'm trying to achieve. I look up at him and see that his eyes are focusing on my threads, which are slowly but surely closing the wound. He's distracted. Good. He doesn't mind that my hand is pressed against his chest. I move my hand a little, shifting across his suit to where I believe his heart would be. I try and feel his heartbeat. Except, I hear something. I cock my head to the side at the strange sensation. I don't hear it thump. I hear a rhythm. It's very subtle, but steady and unlike any heartbeat I've heard before. It's almost like a melody. Suddenly, the whole room shakes with a violent crackle, sending me off my balance. My entire body crashes into James, and we're both sent flying towards the ground. Oops. Cute. Why does it look like she has sharp ears? I know, I think it's just her... the way her hair is covering the ear. But it looks like she has elf ears, just like him. I love his little fangs. Look at them, so cute. Sorry, I'm touching your tit. The fall is cushioned by James's body, with my face squished against his chest. That melody from before has vanished. Instead, eerie crackling sounds overwhelm my senses. I'm completely out of sorts. I love that their eyes move. I don't know. I think the artist has gotten, like, has obviously gotten much better at drawing. I press my hand against his chest to push myself away from him. I look down at James, whose facial expression finally changed to something mildly perturbed. What's going on? I ask in a panic. Collision with a meteorite, most likely, he grumbles. Wait, that sounds rather serious. I thought this ship had a shield. Are we going to die? Oh, shit. Yeah! James went all super devil on me. His hair is standing up straight. Holy shit, this is utterly terrifying. He's going Dragon Ball Z! The stuff of nightmares. She's so pretty! I quickly break the thread connecting us. Will you kindly shut your mouth hole before I rip your tongue out? James grunts back. Wait. Suddenly I'm floating. I don't feel my weight anymore. James curses in an unknown language under his breath. I thought I understood every language. Is he purposefully somehow keeping the language from me? As he floats into the air along with me. What happened? I will probably... I think I'm doing the version... because I've bought his after story or whatever it's called. That I don't have to do the designing stuff. But I still think I'm going to. Just for fun. I wave my arms and kick my legs into the air, only I can't change my direction at all. There's no more gravity. We're floating, I cry out. Oh no, the ship is breaking. With nothing to hold onto, my body starts spinning around. It's making me dizzy and I lose my sense of direction. My own hair is sticking out in all directions as well. I quickly shoot out a piece of thread, aiming at the wall. The thread immediately latches onto a metal bar. Wow, that shot out much faster than I expected. I pull myself towards it so I can steady myself. Are we going to crash? I ask, looking back at James. James is still mindlessly floating around in the air. His cape is flying around him, clinging to his body as if he was swimming underwater. I kind of want to screenshot this one. Let me maybe get a better one. That'll do. He's rolled his sleeve back on while I was busy getting myself to stop spinning. We're in space, he huffs as he pushes the cape out of his face. Unless we find ourselves a planet, there's nothing to crash into. Fine, are we going to explode? I spit back at him. Our artificial gravity generator is preemptively shut down. There won't be anything that might explode, he explains. James tries to reach out towards the ceiling to grab a hold of something, but is unable to get within range. He's aimlessly hanging around in the middle of the room. Can't you fly? I ask. I mean, he can fly, right? Can't he just zip his way over to wherever this generator is and turn it back on? James shoots me the deadliest glare he's given me yet, and I instinctively freeze on the spot. He's clinging onto the wall. For the longest time, he remains silent, brooding as he floats mindlessly in the middle of the chamber. I'm unable to steer myself in these conditions, he mutters. Oh, I have no idea how he can fly in the first place, but it is useful to know that he's as helpless as I am in this sort of situation. I try and pat down my wild hair, but it keeps standing up straight like I'm Medusa. This is crazy. I've never been in zero gravity before. James continues trying to orient himself, clumsily reaching for anything he can get his hands on. Yeah. Do not ask. Impatiently, I shoot out a thread towards James. Once more, it shoots out faster and further than before, so I have to adjust before I miss my target. I finally wrap it around his waist. I give it a small tug and James's body starts floating towards me. Eventually, he softly lands next to me, planting both his feet against the wall, holding onto one of the bars with his hands. He gives me this judging look, and I immediately dissolve the thread around his waist. What? I say with a shrug. You look like you needed some help. I had everything perfectly under control, Earthling princess, he says in this snappy tone. I huff at him. I guess prisoners don't deserve thanks. Return to your chambers immediately. I must deal with this mess, he commands. What? What? I don't have time to protest when James grabs me close, forcing me under his arm. Then he launches himself off the wall and we both hurl towards the door. Right before crashing into the door, James holds his hand out in front of him to catch the momentum and slow us down. He then taps his foot against the panel on the floor, causing the door to slide open. Holding me tightly, we exit the room. Captain, the artificial gravity generator's broken, yells out one of the floating soldiers. Tell me, do you think your captain is so incompetent he is unable to tell whether or not he is in zero gravity? James asks in an aggravating tone. Would that be like in an aggravated tone? Or does she just find it his tone aggravating? The soldier clamps his mouth shut in fear. No, Captain. Where is Gerard? Why did he abandon his post? He's fixing the antenna outside. The meteorite hit it. I stay silent this entire time, wondering when in the world James is going to let me go. Then, all of a sudden, I'm thrust into the alien, slamming hard against its armor. He catches me in surprise. Take the Earthling. Get her back in her chambers. I'll go fix the generator. Claws wrap around my arms to keep me steady. Yes, Captain. The soldier looks down at me. Come on, Earthling. Back to your cell. Captain's orders. It's not like I have much of a choice. The soldier keeps a tight grip on my arm as he pushes himself off the floor, launching us both straight down the hallway. James disappears in the opposite direction. As we're floating past one of the windows, I notice a silver object outside. Oh, it's one of the aliens in a suit. They're outside. That must be Gerard, the one that hit me in the face. I hope they can fix everything. I won't be able to go back home if this ship breaks on us. All of a sudden, I feel a strong weight pulling my body down. Then I fall face first onto the floor with a splat. Ugh! The wind gets knocked out of me. I pick myself up from the floor. Oh, the gravity is working again. Captain James must have turned it back on, says the soldier. I see something whiz past the corner of my eye. Startled, I look out the window and see the silver suits spinning around in a rapid fashion and moving away from the ship. It doesn't seem like they're secured with a tether or anything. Oh, look! I say to the other soldier. He's floating away! The other soldier freezes up when he sees his fellow crew member moving away from the ship. He quickly turns around and sprints off in the direction James disappeared. I press my face up against the window to see. The alien is rapidly disappearing into the distance. I look down at my hand. I could theoretically save him with my thread. The way I shot it out just now, I think under the circumstances I'm in, I can shoot it further than normal, so the distance wouldn't be a problem. The question is, do I want to save an alien who's part of a crew that kidnapped me? Not to mention hit me in the face. Then I see a bunch of soldiers running towards me, with James flying behind them. They all stop to stare out the window. It's Gerard. His tether broke, yells out one of them. Save him, chants Eeyok. James stands still, contemplating quietly as he looks out the window. Gerard has drifted away quite a distance by now. Even with my keen eyesight, I have a hard time telling him apart from the darkness of space. The ship cannot turn around, says James coolly. Mark the log that we lost Gerard during a maintenance check. Everyone looks at him, quiet for a moment. What? It's Gerard. Save him, Captain. Yeah, Captain can do it, cheers Eeyok. Fly to him. He's not lost yet. I said the ship cannot turn around. By the time we made such a drastic maneuver to go back, he would have fallen off of our radar, and we'd be adding another noon to our voyage. But Captain James! Everyone return to your posts, he bellows. The crew grows quiet once more, then one by one they start shuffling their feet and walk away from the windows. The crew is murmuring amongst themselves, obviously not happy having to abandon one of their own. Soon the hallway is empty, with just me and James left. I glance at my fingertips. Should I tell him that I can still save him? Don't tell him. On the other hand, that's one less creepy alien to worry about. I don't need to save him. All I need to do is worry about myself. I clench my hands into fists. No, I'm not going to tell them. James finally sets his sights on me, and I can feel the anger radiating from his entire being. This alien is not in a good mood. He ventures a step forwards, forcing me to take one backwards until I'm stopped by the wall. I told you to return to your chambers immediately, Earthling. His voice is chilly and dangerous. This disobedience of yours won't be tolerated another time, mark me. James's words feel like he's spitting venom at me. I don't dare say another word in fear of angering him even more. He slams his foot against the floor, and the door to my cell opens up. In a lightning-fast reaction, he shoves me into the room with only a flick of his finger. I painfully land on the unforgiving metal floor and look up at him, these cold, dead eyes staring down at me. The door slides closed, and I can hear him walking out the hallway. I huddle myself into the corner, pressing my legs against my chest for warmth. How can I possibly subdue the captain and force him to take me back to Earth? Since people get seasick, can one get space sick? Desperately, I want to look on my phone to check for any symptoms you can get in space, but I am once more reminded of my situation. I am kidnapped and I'm in space. There's no search engine to consult. There's no one to hear me scream. My phone is turned off to conserve battery life. It's useless to me now anyway. It's been 10 days since I've been kidnapped, eating the same thing every day. I feel weak and tired. It's hard coming up with a plan to kill someone when you feel like the world is spinning, but it isn't really. The door suddenly opens. Princess, here is food! It is Eeyok, walking in with a tray of the same food that has dulled my palate. I can't help it. I'm unable to suppress it any longer. My stomach is churning at the thought of swallowing that thick paste again. Eeyok watches me helplessly as I hurl out my stomach contents. I sit back against the wall, feeling clammy and nauseous. Must see Captain! Eeyok shrieks and rushes over to me. I'm roughly grabbed by my waist and he flings me over his body, running out of the room with me. He's not going to care. There better be a very good explanation as to this disturbance. Suddenly, my feet are on the floor again, with Eeyok holding me up straight. I feel even more nauseous now that he ran all the way over here with me on his back. Captain, Princess is regurgitating food! With no sense of urgency, James walks around his desk, his footsteps echoing in the room. He's imposing and not in a very good mood as he stands inspecting me. Then again, when has he ever been in a good mood? I sure as hell haven't been since I got kidnapped. Eeyok. Yes, Captain. She regurgitated, yes. Yes, Captain. Then go clean it up and don't let the stench fill up our ship. Eeyok promptly leaves me alone and runs out of the room. I'm left alone with the captain. If only I felt a little less woozy, then maybe I could, I don't know, trick him or something. His dark brown eyes bore themselves into me. I'm too weak to glare back at him, but I try nonetheless. Still defiant no matter what, aren't we? He comments offhandedly, flicking his hand at me. It makes my blood boil. If I had the energy to talk, I'd give him a piece of my mind. James walks around his desk to the wall behind it. He opens up one of the locker-looking vaults. The artificial gravity in our ship takes some getting used to, especially for someone who's never been exposed to it before. After rummaging through the locker, James takes something out of it. It looks like some kind of syringe. My eyes widen. No way. What does he intend to do with that? This should relieve you of your symptoms. Oh, hell no. I'm not getting shot with alien fluids. Who knows what kind of reaction I could have. I could be implanted with alien eggs, using my body as some kind of incubator and have them bursting through my stomach. You've watched Alien like one too many times. He places 2 fingers on the side of his own neck. Best to do it in the neck, so it goes straight to the heart. Finally, I find my voice. Your neck? Your heart is in your neck? What the fuck? Then why not shoot it straight in the heart? Okay, so that's not what he meant. Okay. James exhales what I believe to be something akin to a chuckle, or maybe he's just scoffing and making fun of me. Or maybe he just inhaled a speck of dust and had to free up his nostrils. I don't know. Shoot this jug straight into the heart, and it'll make anyone's heart stop beating. A chill runs over my spine, but the gears in my mind start spinning as well. I know where his heart is located. I might actually have found a way to kill him, or threaten his life at the very least. I need to get my hands on that drug. Then please, give me the medicine. I feel sick. I play up the helpless act. James walks up to me. Sometimes I forget how massive and intimidating... It keeps me in the... Oh, he's so buff. He's so big. So intimidating. Ooh. It's just funny to me. The syringe ready in his hand. Somehow I have to get it. I need to distract him. Slowly, his hand reaches out to my hair and he sweeps it aside, exposing the skin on my neck. See, this is like vampire vibes. Okay? I'm not crazy, right? He's got fangs. Vampire vibes. The heat from his hand prickles my skin. My heart starts racing wildly as the adrenaline rushes in, pumping myself up to find the right moment to take the syringe. There's a slight hesitation in his actions. For the briefest moment, he lingers with the syringe near my skin. My chance. Quickly, I knock the syringe out of his hand. It flies in the air, but I grab it, flipping it in my hand, and I point it at his heart, sinking the needle through his outfit, but stop right before it pierces his skin. I take a breath. Silence. My heartbeat is ringing in my ears, my stomach is sloshing around. James is simply staring at me, unmoving. There's no expression on his face to indicate his emotions whatsoever. It's like he's accepted this fate of his, as if he doesn't care if he dies. Absolutely threaten him. Unless you want your heart to stop beating, you will turn this ship around and bring me back to Earth. He's even more frightening when he says nothing at all, just staring at me with those emotionless eyes of his. Doesn't care if he dies? Go on, you made the threat, now carry it out if you're able to summon enough courage. I push the needle even deeper, knowing I've breached his skin. I will not hesitate to do so. I bark back at him. James takes a deep breath, and then he disappears right before my eyes. What the? He reappears behind me. Nothing personnel. He's so damn fast. He takes the needle out of my hand and then painfully pins my arms behind my back. He pushes me against the desk. Before I can protest, he jabs the needle in the side of my neck. Shocked, I let out a painful yelp as I feel the icy fluid flow through my veins. I applaud your attempt, but a mere earthling like you, with your puny strength, has no way to compete against mine. This was your battle to lose from the start, he grunts against my ear. He finally tears himself away from me, releasing my arms and pulling the needle out of my neck. I believe I mentioned I'd hang you outside of the ship if you did anything suspicious. His eyes flicker over at me. But given your current condition, I'll write this off as a delusional earthling acting out due to space fever. I take in a deep breath to steady myself, and I rub the spot where the needle pricked me. My wrists are also hurting from his strong grip. I want to yell back at him. I'm not delusional, but there's just no way I can compete with him. He's totally right. I don't have the power to defeat him. I'm never going home. The reality of my predicament settles down, and I feel this uneasiness wash over me. At the same time, my mind starts clearing up. The sickness in my stomach is slowly subduing. Well, wait, this medicine is actually working. Feeling better now? He asks without a care in the world, as if I didn't just try to murder him. I look at him in wonder. Yes, actually. Maybe now that your senses have returned to you, you will learn not to make hasty decisions in the future. James threateningly folds his arms over his chest. Any further attempts on my life, and I will not hesitate to rip off your head. I can't help myself but ask, why haven't you already? Why have you taken me? Another silence stretches between us. The needle lies forgotten on the desk. James finally averts his eyes and settles his gaze upon the only window in the room. Not only are you of royalty, which can prove to be useful during bargaining positions, but you have demonstrated the ability to heal torn skin. Then his dark eyes are back on me. Such an ability will be quite useful to have. When we arrive, you will be put to use in our medical bay. It dawns on me that I made my own grave by rescuing a stranger from the sky and patching him up. He thinks I'm some kind of doctor, which I'm not. I just did basic first aid, and that's why I'm here, on this ship, kidnapped by aliens because I can manipulate pieces of thread. Beware, Earthling princess, he growls. Grrr. One more wrong step and I will personally end your life. I fearfully nod at him. Remembering he doesn't understand human body language, I quickly correct myself. I understand. I mutter under my breath. I'm not going back home. I'm not killing or threatening the captain to bring me back. No one is coming to save me either. Home has never felt so far away before now. I'm losing track of the days. With no sun that rises and settles out here in space, not to mention no watch, my sense of time is slipping away. How long have I been here? It feels like weeks, but I don't even know for sure. Eeyok has been taking me to the dining area more often. He seems to enjoy taking care of me, and I'd rather have at least one alien on my side. Eeyok, why are you here? Grunts another soldier at him. Taking care of Earthling, yes? He answers. Suddenly, the largest soldier knocks Eeyok down on the ground, starting a brawl. Everyone around us looks up and forms a circle. No, you must be cleaning the living quarters. You not commander. Eeyok not listen. The soldier grabs Eeyok off the floor, hoisting him high in the air. After Geroid, I am the acting commander. Everyone has to listen to what I say. The soldier laughs loudly, with everyone else joining in. Ha 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 ha. Not good. I don't know what to do. Should I try and stop them? Eeyok looks like he's not getting enough air. Obviously. I stealthily conjure a thread from my index finger, sneaking it down onto the floor when no one is able to notice it. I latch it around the soldier's ankle and yank on it. The soldier falls backward, dropping Eeyok along the way. Hastily, I dissolve my thread and try to look as innocent as possible. Embarrassed, he quickly stands up and looks around. Everyone around him starts laughing. Who did that? He yells. Eeyok picks himself up from the ground, looking a bit bewildered himself. You did that! The soldier yells at Eeyok. He pulls back a fist and is about to slam it into Eeyok's face until a booming voice catches everyone's attention. Huh? What is all this commotion about? The captain flies in, strong and confidently he lands next to the acting commander, staring him down. Eeyok, what is the meaning of this? James asks in a very calm but threatening voice. Captain, Eeyok is abandoning his duties, says Eeyok, playing innocent. I huff out loud, unable to contain myself. And which duties would that be? He looks unimpressed, because as I recall, it's his job to guard the Earthling, is it not? Eeyok looks frightened. He casts his eyes down at the floor. Yes, Captain. Make yourself useful and check the radar on the bridge for any incoming meteor storms. Yes, Captain. Eeyok immediately disappears. You know what? I want these two. James stares down at everyone around him, his arms crossed over his chest. The message is clear enough. Everyone needs to get back to their post and stop loitering about. When we're not the center of attention anymore, James suddenly takes a step closer to me. Earthling, he calls out to me. Fed up with all this Earthling stuff, I finally blurt out my frustrations. It's Valkii, I fire back. My name is Valkii. No more of this Earthling nonsense. He cocks his head to the side, slightly raising his eyebrow. Well, Princess, if you were getting tired of the way we were addressing you, then perhaps you should have told us your name much sooner. I stare back at him, feeling embarrassment rise up to my cheeks, knowing I haven't told anyone my name since the moment I was captured. But it's not like I'm in the best position to. I got kidnapped against my will. Who thinks about properly introducing themselves under such a situation? No one, that's who. Your rebellious eyes will be the death of you one day, he mutters darkly. I'm absolutely going to give him the middle finger. I can't believe both of those were, like, defiant. As childish and ludicrous as it might seem, I end up showing him my middle finger. As expected, he makes no indication that he recognizes the sign. Human gestures are a foreign language in space. Be careful about meddling with Yulin's affairs. You might find yourself in a situation you can't handle, James warns me. Yulin? I repeat quizzically. Is that what these soldiers are called? James simply tears his cold eyes away from me and turns on his heel. He slowly makes his exit by flying off, his cape fluttering behind him. Like a pretty little princess. Princess, Eeyok suddenly speaks up. Yes? Eeyok grateful, but Princess should be careful. Eeyok looks around him as the others glare at us. Eeyok grunt, he whispers. I look down at my bowl of mushed food. The warnings don't bode well. Not much later, I'm back in my cell, bored out of my mind. Then something happens. The door slides open. Get out. Leave me alone. I expect Eeyok to enter, but it's that brute from before. Eeyok, I think. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up straight and I huddle myself in a corner. Earthling Princess, he greets me in a mocking tone. He taps his heel onto the floor and the door is shut fast. I'm alone with him. You made a mockery. How do you know? You made a mockery of me today in front of the rest of the platoon. His voice is surprisingly calm for what he's saying. I am the commander now. I require respect. How can I gain respect when a small fry like you makes me look stupid? In the blink of an eye, he's in front of me, his large posture looming over me. What are you doing? I ask, surprised he's gotten so close. Time to teach you a lesson. There's an unsettling smile on his face that gives me a bad case of goosebumps. I've been worried about the captain all this time, when I should have been worried about the rest of them. This is the end of me, isn't it? This is how it's gonna happen. Stay back, I warn him. I brace myself, ready to defend, but the punch to my stomach was too fast for me to block. I cough out loud in pain as I double over, gasping for air. My vision starts getting blurry as the pain immobilizes me. That smack against my face causes me to cry out in pain, and I'm down onto the floor, my ears ringing from the impact. I'm completely disoriented, but I try to crawl away from Eeyok. The pain is so immense, it's hard to even move an inch. I feel like my insides are about to burst out. He grabs my ankle, dragging me backwards. No! I shriek. Let go! Fight back! Kick him in the lizard dick. I shoot a thread out towards him, hooking him around his ankle and tugging on it, hoping he'll fall. Eeyok, however, has both of his feet firmly planted on the ground. There's no way I can catch him off balance. He stands above me, lowering his face towards mine. What's this? You dare to fight back? Suddenly he grabs my long hair, lifting... What if I did not have long hair? Or is there no short hair options? I don't actually remember. Suddenly he grabs my long hair, lifting me up from the floor. I yell out from the pain and try to scratch him with my fingers, but he pays no mind to my feeble attempts. Then my feet are lifted from the ground. I'm hoisted into the air, only hanging by my hair. My scalp feels like it's going to tear off. Earthlings are weak, he spits out. You have to listen to me, the commander. No, I say through gritted teeth, creating a thread from my fingers. I catch the other end of the thread and hook it around my own hair. No, I will not, I scream and slice through my thick locks. It's almost as if time slows down as I fall back onto the floor. My own hair cascades around me like falling feathers, gently fluttering in the air. Not expecting me to do this, Eeyok stands there, temporarily stunned. Wisps of hair dance around us. I roll over onto my back and look him in the eye. Then I deliver a swift kick in his own stomach as well. It doesn't pack much of a punch, but it's enough for him to stumble backwards. I use this opportunity to pick myself up and run towards the door. My hands are trembling with adrenaline. I step down onto the panel to open it, but it doesn't. Horror washes over me. Sorry, Earthling. Doors don't open unless you have a key. He's right behind me. This is it. I tried the best I could. I'm so sorry, Eric. Kane. Eeyok grabs the back of my head and slams me into the door. But miraculously, the door slides open before my face is pulverized. Instead, I'm pushed into someone's chest plate. Hey, James. James looks down at me. What the... There he is, Captain! Yells Eeyok behind him. Captain James! Eeyok says with a startled screech. He immediately lets me go. Told you, Eeyok, so I'm sneaking in here. I've never been so happy to faceplant into the chest of my captor. James gives me a gentle push, forcing me to back off and let him through into the cell. He surveys the situation, my hair flying around in the room, the bruises on my knees from falling down. He takes it all in. Finally, he looks at Eeyok. Didn't I tell you not to harm our prisoner? His icy voice makes even me tremble on the spot. But, Captain, There's a loud crack. It happened so quickly my brain can't even comprehend the maneuver James is pulled out just now. But all of a sudden, Eeyok falls down onto the floor like a lifeless ragdoll. My eyes are as wide as saucers. I bite back my shriek and cover my own mouth. He instantly snapped his neck. Eeyok, take care of this. Filth must be disposed of. James wipes his hands for dramatic effect. Yes, Captain. Eeyok hurries to get Eeyok's dead body and hoists the much larger alien across his shoulders. He disappears through the door. When we're alone, James clicks his tongue in an annoyed tone. Princess, prepare yourself. We'll be arriving soon. He turns his back on me, standing in the oval doorway. Your fate will be out of my hands. I won't be able to save you from your obstinate actions. His warning leaves me with a chill I can't shake off. Are you blaming me for being attacked by one of your subordinates? I finally find my voice. Because it looks to me like you can't control your own platoon. Silence. As if he were a bolt of lightning, James appears in front of me and the palm of his hand is wrapped around my throat. His beady little eyes stare down into my own. Watch your tongue or you'll end up like your attacker. He squeezes my throat, making it harder for me to breathe. If you wanted me dead, I'd already be dead. I fire back at him. You are flirting with death, he spits into my face. An attempt on my life, your foul mouth and your insolent behavior. Do you take me for a fool? He roughly flings me against the wall in a painful manner. I grunt out loud upon impact and my body drops down onto the bed. My back stings like hell. You are still of some use to me. That's the only reason you're still alive. He sneers at me. But that doesn't guarantee your safety. Eeyok comes running back into the room. Captain, Eeyok released the body into space. He's like Dobby. James composes himself. Very well. Clean up this mess here as well. You know the Lord likes to have his ships return in pristine conditions. Yes, Captain, Eeyok says obediently. Let's see how you fare meeting him, mutters James ominously. He finally exits my cell with Eeyok right behind him. It feels like a couple of days have passed since then. The crew members have mostly left me alone. No one seems to be questioning what happened to Eeyok. Eeyok is the only one who I still interact with. Today, he brought me to the captain's quarters. My presence was requested. Captain Eeyok brought the princess. James, as usual, is behind his desk. He dismisses Eeyok, but doesn't even make eye contact with me. Nervously, I rub the back of my neck, finally getting used to the fact that I now have a bob. Not that slicing through my own hair was considered a good haircut. Why am I here? I ask after a long silence. We'll be descending soon and touch ground with Yule, he explains as he taps his fingers on a few buttons on the desk. I do not have any data available on Earthlings, so you'll be going in blind. The temperature is scorching hot there. You may experience side effects from the atmosphere. He stands up from his seat and walks to the wall lined with vaults. He opens one of them and takes something out of it. James walks around the desk, his hand clutching a small glass bottle. He presents it to me. Inside of it is a tiny piece of root. The red colour reminds me of saffron. Chew on this root, don't swallow it. It may alleviate or reduce some of the symptoms. Hesitantly, I take it from his hand. Or you may combust on the spot. That's also a possibility. There's a smirk on his face, as if he'd be happy to see that happen to me. Great, I'm going to a planet whose atmosphere may very well cause me to burst into flames. How do I know it's not just poison? I ask, staring at him suspiciously. Because he could kill you at any minute. Why would he wait and just give you a weird root? It's either you chew on this or you meet your end sooner than later. Your choice. I hug the small bottle protectively against my chest. It's not my choice, I grumble back. Nothing has been. The floor suddenly shakes and vibrates. The ship makes puffing noises as if it's releasing compressed air. I look around in confusion, but James remains as composed as ever. Welcome to Yule, princess. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.